Hey everyone, before the video starts, I just want to make sure that if in any case any parent or anyone is seeing this, so first of all, we all know that actor Sushant Singh Rajput is not in between us anymore, so may his soul rest in peace. And if you guys are watching this, then please, I request you, treat mental health and depression as real life problems and not something you can just brush away as cured. But I'll keep my feelings to myself, and with that being said, let's continue with the regular light-hearted content.
हाय फ्रेंड्स, शायद आपको ना पता हो मैं देहरादून
अरे ये नहीं यार. See, that's why you should completely watch things. No, I mean seriously guys, please watch my videos completely because my watch time is... But come on man, I mean Pooja,
what is this behavior?
So I recently watched the season 2 of 4 More Shots Please, which released on Amazon Prime Video, which will serve as a postcursor to me for my topic today. So with that being said, let's talk about feminism. I also want to make sure that this is not something related to me trying to be woke or blatantly ignorant to suit a particular popular narrative to get views. See, feminism by definition is the belief that women should have the same rights, rights and opportunities as men. I understand how it should be redeeming in its aspect, but how some use it not just the way. Now, if you're still here even after considering me some semi-misogynistic or something because I said a joke about something that women literally wear, then let's get started, shall we? Unfortunately, feminism in today's world is not represented and taught in a manner that one understands its very core and principle. Unfortunately enough, there is actually a word for that, misandry. But some people are of the opinion that you're a bad human being if you're not a feminist. You know, it's ironic how these other girls who talk about feminism are not actually feminists but feminazis. Mind you that there is a solid dichotomy between the two, which I'll show how. And if you who is seeing this happens to be one of the feminazis, then understand this. See, I know that the inception of the idea was solely built on that women have been oppressed for centuries too, and to some parts of the world still are, and at that point feminism was right to occur. You cannot just use it to your advantage. We don't treat you equally, and we just don't have that privilege because laws in this country have been made in favor of women. So, don't be of the opinion that you can do almost anything and go away with it. If you're someone who's gonna say that, no, I'm just going on without any content, then don't even get me started on the Sarvjit case. Because in India is a country where if a boy is slapped or even a verbal scuffle dominated by a girl, it is celebrated without actually knowing the facts. And now see brothers, I do agree, and anyone would, that the modern feminism in the light in which it is portrayed is logically horseshit. But understand this, maybe the logic is incorrect, the implications are wrong and unjust, but maybe the motivation behind that isn't. Here's an example. See, if you have a sister and if you live in a society where males are pervert as humanly as possible, and that's a fact of your locality, okay? Then what advice would you give to her? Respectful, talk to anyone, or just to be on the safer side, don't, or at least try to avoid as much as you can. Most people would fall silent to this. And that's what I mean by the motivation is just. That's what her view of men would be in the long run. But which isn't incorrect, because protecting your loved ones and giving them prescriptions is not in any way wrong. But just to play the devil's advocate, I had to tell you this. Now let me come to why 4 More Shots Please is not that bad. I'm not going to talk about how the meeting at the truck bar is their own bootleg version of the Central Park or the McLaren's Park. For those of you who don't have any idea, I'll tell you. It's a web series focusing on 4 privileged and educated South Mumbai girls who face different trials and tribulations in their way and the problems they have, no matter how minuscule they look to you, when you compare them to the tragedy the majority faces. Now, in this which that I have done for you, you can have an index to assess whether the web series is for you or not. Raunchy indeed, but could have been better if the writing didn't take its redeeming aspects in an overkill mode. Look, I understand that it had to be pertinacious, but ruling thing is that the web series focuses too much on just calling out problems that are identified mid conversations and out of nowhere. And of course, the erotic makeout session. I mean, come on, how many lacy bras and glossy clothes can you admire, girls? The annoying part, however, is the cues the web series gives to you, which is not in any way nor sarcastically funny. The scene where some guys ask the bartender that they'll pay the money for the four girls, to which they go and confront them and kind of embarrass them, I'd say. I know it's a confrontation that makes up the pervert shut up, but on paper didn't have the egregious expression that it had to. Fidelity is one thing and crave for sex in women is another thing. The Bollywood culture that represents women as passive participants in sex is what these stereotypes will break for you, making you uncomfortable. It's just the writing that is inadvertent and ineffective in reaching its objectives. The thing which gave impetus to all the guys and even girls to bash this web series for what it is was how it focuses too much on statistics and the problems identified. They don't, however, shed a light on the motivation behind their suicide of logic. To anyone who wishes to see the web series, in the pitch I've done for you literally, I suggest see the movie Thappad instead, which showcases the inherent sexism in a man so brilliantly, even him being a good husband and all, but still unconsciously forming opinions about women. It's really impactful in reaching its objective. See, I'll give you an example for comparison. In the web series, when one of the girls, which I guess is played by the actress who was in Margarita with a Straw, the dialogue was, "Why are men everywhere?" See, see, I understand that how it portrays man hating in a way. If you showed the motivation behind that, then that would have been a little better. And whereas in Thappad, when the neighbor steps out in an XUV, then the main antagonist of the story says that "Karti kya hai ye?" That in itself is effective in reaching its objective. It's real and impactful. See, my main gripe was to see characters asking approval from each other in every step of the way. I know how it was important to connect to the female audiences, but it should be taught that this course of action often stagnates and kills the individual growth of a person. I want to conclude by saying that feminism should be taught, not preached, and should be a movement and not something you can imply to victimize yourself. And stop thinking in your head that man is the supreme obsessor and see misuse of Article 498. That's the dowry law. Suicides increase, my friend. Back in the days, feminism was right, but now with the shift of legal power, it itself shatters equality. When women use it to benefit themselves, I can go on and on. Fake rape cases. So that is it for the video, guys. Write down in the comments below if you have anything to correct me on or share about. And as always, Shutiya.